Pull that out. Right. Can we give her a shout out?
Yeah, for sure.
Are we on?
We try to go as much as we can, but it's not always. So,
Yeah. Awesome. Tom, how come you're never on camera?
yes, good.
Yeah. Joining.
Plus. Yeah, medical plus.
Yeah. We'll have the large black ones. You could have just had those on.
That's right.
All the time.
Never know. Oh, where he was.
Yeah. You guys normally wear gloves before the virus thing?
No, not typically. Actually, it's
I think they're not to, right?
you wash your hands. You know, so there was a law that they tried to put into effect in California that all people prepping food had to wear gloves. Didn't have,
Yeah.
you know, because it's not always easy, right? So.
Tom, how are we doing?
Good. Well,
Yeah?
are we live?
Should we do this thing?
What is it?
We're at 55 viewers so far. Yeah. We got 55 people watching you, Chef Nick.
Oh, great.
It's exciting, huh?
What's that?
It's like having the whole restaurant in your kitchen.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I think it was saying your mom's on.
Oh, there you go. Come on.
So we fill the hood and get going? Yeah, we got so many people, we should probably fill the hood and
Sounds good.
get it going.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Hey, Turnbull Lights, thanks for joining us. We're at Goose and Gander today. Chef Nick Jones, Jason, sous chef Jason in the back over here. And we've got the Goose and Gander has been nice enough to open up today just for you. Goose and Gander is my favorite restaurant in the entire Napa Valley. It's a signature spot, and I'm sure many of you are already familiar with it because it deserves your attention. It delivers that same authentic charm and high quality farm to table ingredient set and passionate, artful people that put it all together. And so we're at Goose and Gander today, and Chef Nick Jones and Jason are going to fire up the Goose and Gander signature burger. We've got the hood off right now so that we can hear Chef Nick Jones, but it's going to get a little smoky. So we might be cycling the hood on and off so that we don't suffocate from smoke inhalation. So burgers are going on the grill, once Chef Nick is going to take you through how to make the Goose and Gander burger. Carrie and Tom already sent everybody the recipe. It's awesome. My biggest hope and dream was that I'd someday get to inside Nick's head to see what this burger recipe is all about. And now we've got that. But what I've learned from reading the recipe is that it's best to come get it at Goose and Gander.
That's right.
Yeah. So Nick's going to take us into the kitchen, show us what the burger's all about, and then we're going to taste the 16 Oakville Reserve Cabernet with the burger. So we're going to get going on Grill Up a Burger, and thanks for joining us today. This is the Napa Valley's best burger, maybe the world's, and it's the sum of its parts, which is important. But it's all about the pickles are from Sonoma Brinery. And the beef. Nick's going to take you through all the pieces. We're going to run the hood for a couple seconds to clear out the smoke, and then Nick's much more knowledgeable about his burger than I am, of course. And he's going to take you through how to make this burger. And the secret to great restaurant food is you don't normally want to watch it being made because the amount of awesomeness that goes into it, the amount of effort. persuade you from not doing it. It's all about the live fire, so they're going to be grilling on wood, and there's some fun stories about that. While we're getting set up, I was hearing a story about how a longtime customer of Goose and Gander came in, tried the burger, thought it was different. There's nothing different about the presentation of the burger or the creation of the burger. The ingredients were the same, except the wood delivery that week was different. The mix of wood species that went into the live fire was different, and that made a difference in the smoke note in the burger. So all these little micro notes that might not seem that important, if you take one out, does it make a difference? We don't know. It's a lot like winemaking. When I'm making wine, all the little choices I make add up to something that's great, hopefully. And if I take one of those choices out, does it make a difference? We don't know sometimes, but you know it when you taste it. So the beauty of this is we're going to get to see Goose and Gander's burger made live on video right now. We're going to taste the wine, and then when Napa Valley opens back up, we're hoping that you're going to come out to Napa, stop by Turnbull for a tasting, and then absolutely get into Goose and Gander to have one of their signature dishes. The burger was chosen because it is something that Goose and Gander's been doing since its incept, but also it's something that you can prepare at home. There's a whole artful set of other dishes that are amazing and take the Goose and Gander experience to different levels. But the burger's a nice place to start. So I think we've got burgers on the grill, and we're going to get the camera in there so you can see what's going on. So there's going to be a little instability in the camera shot. We're going to pass the camera into the kitchen. So expect a little, that's not a California earthquake that's happening. It's just the camera getting passed in. And then Nick and Jason are going to take you into the burger world. So here we go. You ready? Yeah, let's do it.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nick Jones. I'm executive chef at Goose and Gander. Thank you for having me here and choosing us to pair with your wine. So we're gonna walk you through our burger. This burger, like Peter was saying, has been here from day one, and it was created by the original executive chef, Kelly McCown. And so really it's my job to keep this burger the same way that it was when it was created. And by doing so, the bread comes from Model Bakery. We can still get our bread from Model Bakery. The pickles come from Sonoma Brinery. We still get them from Sonoma Brinery. We use the same remoulade that we did from day one. The gem lettuce as well. And then bacon, we use heritage bacon. And the meat we get from Marin Sun Farms. We do a 8-ounce patty. We grill it over wood fire. And going back to the type of wood that we use a combination of white oak, cherry wood, and almond wood, and that's coming from Bare Bottom Farms. So as Peter was saying, the wood does make a difference. So we had substituted one day a different type of wood because Bare Bottom Farms wasn't delivering that day, and somebody would call us out on it. They knew that the flavor of that smoke was different. So it is a very unique burger, and so kind of the keeper of this burger to make sure that we keep it alive and the way it was from the very beginning. So also another key component here is our herb butter. The herb butter, we douse the patty with herb butter. We salt it. It goes on the grill. We also douse the bun with a little bit of herb butter on there as well, and throw that on the grill. So that is another key component to that. The herb butter is we bring up some butter, simmer it with a little bit of garlic, some thyme. You could put rosemary in there. You can put sage, whatever you want to put in there. But that's what we use: thyme and garlic and rosemary. And yeah, so as these two burgers grill up, after they come off, we will put it together, show you how to put it together, and of course we're going to serve up some of our duck fat fries. Jason, about how long do we have on those burgers?
about 1 minute out.
1 minute out. I'm going to drop the fries right now. Actually, can you drop fries? Thank you, sir. One other thing is the Gruyere cheese. This is Austrian Gruyere cheese, imported Gruyere cheese that we use. We find it makes a big difference. The cheese is a very important part of the burger as well.
We should kill the foot.
Yeah, you want to go check it out? You see the fire in the wood at all?
Getting it flipper. Yeah, hold on. Gotta get in there.
Look at that.
Woo! There's the bacon on the grill.
You can see
Burgers are on there. Cheese is melting.
cheese is melting. Fat's starting to render out of the burger. We've got the bacon that we actually pick up on the grill as well. So we pre-cook it, and we pick it up to get it crispy and hot. And then that goes on top of the Gruyere cheese.
Now I understand why when I try to make this burger at home, it's not as good as when you do it, Nick.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It's all those little steps that come together to make something magic.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeff. And you can see after you throw the buns on the grill with that butter, it's kind of soft in some areas, but then it kind of gets a nice little toast on it as well. So it kind of brings the bread back to life, if you will. It is made every morning and delivered to us every morning from Model Bakery. At this point, we're going to take our...
Nick, I got a question.
Yeah.
Do you hollow out the meat of the bun?
Yes, good question. So as you can see, we hollow it out, and then we use that bread for croutons, whatever we might be using at that point. Sometimes we have a Caesar salad on the menu. Sometimes we're using it as a filler, but it allows for a place for all the juices to collect, and also to be able to fit everything on here. It's a pretty big burger.
Yeah.
Save some calories.
So
maybe.
yeah,
Save
so
some
you
calories.
get all the juiciness
Yeah.
of the burger. The burger becomes a cup of all the sweetness of the burger, and that's a great idea. So something you can do at home, even if you don't have access to Model Bakery burger or buns right now. It's something you can do is take your brioche buns you might be able to get from your local fine grocer and haul those out a little bit before you grill them, and gives you a place to catch all the goodness.
Yeah, no, so this is a hearty bun. It's essentially a sourdough. It's a sourdough ciabatta is what it is. You can pick up ciabatta at the store, or you can, sourdough works as well, but it is going to be heartier, and so that's one of the reasons, too, why we're pulling out that bread. You're not going to pull out the bread from a soft bun, like a panda meat, which we use for our fried chicken. Or we also use it for our faux burger, which is our vegetarian option of the burger. And we use a softer bun, which you wouldn't pull the bread out from there. Thank you. And then, of course, we got our duck fat fries here. Can't get a G&G burger without duck fat fries. So the first thing that goes into building this burger is you're going to slather remoulade on both the bottom and top of the burger. And this is still this is our biggest seller. The next one in line would be our octopus, actually. Believe it or not, people go crazy with octopus, but this is our biggest seller. We'll do, on a very busy day, we could be doing a couple hundred of these easily. But looking at about 150 a day. So next goes down our gem lettuce, which we try to grow as much as we can. We also have our Goose and Gander farms, which is led by our farm manager, Shelly Cush, which, yeah, good Shelly. And she also, so she manages for us. She also has a company called Garden Junkie. So just want to give a shout out to Garden Junkie.
Garden Junkie.
Yeah. And then we're going to be putting our pickles on the top. We're going to do 2 pickles on the top. And then as you can see, Jason, he put, see the burger here? Great. So Jason put the burger or the patty on top of the lettuce. The Gruyere cheese, the bacon goes on there while it's on the grill, as you saw before. We're going to then flip this over. I don't know if we have any picks around, do we? Oh, perfect. Best sous chef ever.
Jason, great job.
That's everything ready. Mise en place. All right. We don't typically cut these in half unless somebody asks for it, but it's nice to have them cut in half. If you're sharing it with someone, it is a hearty burger, so if you wanted to have something else while you're here, you might want to share the burger and get a couple appetizers. But really, it's also nice because you can see how perfectly cooked that is, and why Jason Bell is our sous chef, because that's Jason. Thank you, sir.
Jason's birthday?
And it's Jason Bell's birthday. He
Happy
came
birthday,
in on
Jason.
his birthday to be with you guys
Wow.
today. Happy birthday, Jason.
Happy birthday, Jason. Thank you. So when this all lifts and everybody can come back to Napa Valley, we're going to have to come to Goose and Gander and help Jason celebrate his birthday.
Absolutely.
All right, we want to go outside?
Yeah, now we'll take this out in the garden.
Right. That looks amazing.
There's Carrie.
Hello. All right. Let's just we'll follow Peter.
Really?
Yeah, we're following the leader.
I'm taking these to my car. We're out of here. Oh, wait. Nick's going to join us, too.
I'll be right there.
Okay. We're going to take these down out. Goose and Gander, one of the great things about Goose and Gander is Goose and Gander has outdoor seating. So we're going to have the opportunity when things get open, Goose and Gander will have outdoor seating and be able to socially space. Thank you, Elizabeth. Yeah. This is Elizabeth right here. She helped put all the pieces together to make this happen.
Walk over.
Okay.
Awesome. Nick, I bet you never sit down at your own restaurant.
No,
It's never happened.
not that often.
It's never happened before.
Go ahead and bring it up.
But I enjoy what we do. I mean, this is a beautiful garden. It's such a great
Hold on,
place
real
in
quick.
the city.
Incredible. What is one of the shining stars of Goose and Gander besides Shelly Gooch with Garden Junkie managing all their own estate gardens that make the great produce that goes into the Goose and Gander products. Chef Nick and his whole culinary team making the wines, the foods here, is outdoor seating. We were up in the the interior of Goose and Gander feels like an old boathouse. It has a great vibe. There's cozy booths and dark wood, subdued lighting. It's a really just a wonderful setting. There's the super double awesome speakeasy bar downstairs, and then outside we have this beautiful patio. So there's so many great individual sites at Goose and Gander. There's the covered koi pond area, the ability to socially space people and get things going back to normal. So it's going to be one of the first restaurants that's able to welcome you back into the valley, and you'll be able to enjoy yourself safely here. I think it's great. I can't wait until Goose and Gander opens back up. And the burger that Nick and Jason has crafted is amazing. We're going to pair it up with the 2016 Oakville Napa Valley Cabernet Sauvignon. Goose and Gander has been a longtime supporter of Turnbull. Has our Napa Valley Cabernet on the list, and has been a key partner for us for years and years, and we love that. And we're always honored that when our wines pair great with great food. So here are the grapes all come from Oakville, of course, and it's a pairing of our famous Fortuna vineyard and our Leopoldina vineyards, both on the east side of Oakville. So you've got red volcanic soils, afternoon sun. The wine is really built around the Fortuna vineyard, which is on the alluvial fan at the Bakers of awesome gravel and sand and clay there. I think was it last week that we did the Merlot, Carrie?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we talked about the Fortuna Merlot last week, all from that same vineyard site. And so this wine is really designed around that freshness. There's a vertical lift of red fruit, focus and length to the wine. And then Leopoldina up on top of the mountain brings in broader shoulders, bigger width on the sides, and fills in the richness. So we do make the single vineyard wines from the Fortuna vineyard and the Leopoldina vineyard, and they're different in that they show off the singularity of their sites. And this is kind of the best of both worlds. And a wine that is totally suitable to the table on any day. So it's a wine that goes great with a burger, and it's also great a wine that goes great with if you come back to Goose and Gander and you have you guys make a great steak or wonderful chicken.
Dry age our own steaks.
Yeah.
So come back and have a dry aged steak with a Turnbull Cabernet. It's a perfect pairing.
You guys
Cheers.
should eat those. You guys should
We shouldn't eat these.
You should eat.
Let's check them out. I'm going to start with the duck fried fry. Oh my god, Elizabeth, are these killing you?
Yeah, kind of.
I'll save you one.
Thank you.
Oh,
Well,
those are awesome.
it's been a minute since I had a duck fat fry.
Yeah.
It's been a couple months now.
Yeah, it's been a couple
So
months.
this is the first time that we got to cook up our G&G burgers and our duck fat fries since we've been closed here, and felt good. It was nice to be able to
Get back to the kitchen.
get back in the kitchen, and absolutely.
It's really cool. It's exciting to see. I think probably in your parts of the country also, you're starting to hear about things opening back up. Of course, we want to do that in a safe way that doesn't put us back in a problem where we're sequestered in the future. So I think Napa Valley, California, is doing a smart job of keeping things safe, slowing the infection rate so that we can get back to life as normal and have successful, healthy businesses, and at the same time stay alive, which would be lovely. Goose and Gander's been awesome with their whole staff, keeping them safe, and everybody's raring to get back to work and getting back to hosting people with amazing care and great food. So we want to thank you for joining us with these great wines and food today. And it's always nice to get a chance to break out of the normalcy of staying at home. Tom, are there questions out there?
Yeah, we have a question come in, and maybe you can repeat this just in case I'm too far away. John Lawson was wondering, when it comes to reserve, does that mean more time in barrel or more time in bottle? What makes
Good
it
question.
reserve? Yeah.
So, John, thanks for your question. The question is, why do we call this wine Oakville Reserve? And it's a bit of a funny question. I think it's been something that's been challenging for me as a winemaker, is as a maker person and not as a marketing person. It's been, I'm not in charge of the names of the wines, but it's a partnership. Back in the day, it was 2010, Turnbull launched the new Oakville bottling, and we made two different wines. There was an Oakville bottling and an Oakville Reserve bottling, and they were different wines. And the Oakville bottling was available in your fine bottle shops and at restaurants, and the Oakville Reserve bottling was only available to our membership. And they both were fantastic wines. They were different wines, not the same wine. They were packaged differently, different blends, and they scored a little bit differently. I think the Oakville Reserve was a couple points higher scored than the Oakville regular bottling, as you would expect. The Oakville Reserve was also more expensive than the regular bottling. And we got a lot of blowback from our wholesale partners that thought that they should have access to the Oakville Reserve bottling and didn't understand why they couldn't have the higher pointed wine. And so we decided to just make one wine. And I argued that we should, if we're going to make one wine, it should just be called Oakville and not Oakville Reserve, because there's no reserve beyond if you don't have a normal. But what our wholesale partners really wanted was a wine that represented the best of what we could do. And they had been instructed by the previous scores that meant that it said reserve on it. And so we essentially curtailed the normal bottling of Oakville and just made the Oakville Reserve bottling. And wines that would have gone into the Oakville bottling then were declassified into our Napa Valley bottling, making the Napa Valley bottling better. So in a sense, everybody won. I find it as a maker to be a little bit awkward that we have a wine that's called Reserve when there's not a regular. It's a little bit like having super unleaded without having unleaded. But history takes things in different interesting paths. The good news is what's in the bottle is fully vetted and wonderful and fantastic. The question I usually get on the street is, what is the difference between Oakville Reserve and Black Label? They're priced differently. Black Label, of course, is our signature wine, and Oakville Reserve is less expensive. And so people want to know what's different about those. The Black Label is the wine that's built all around the Leopoldina vineyard up on top of the Oakville bench. And the Oakville Reserve is the wine that's really built around the Fortuna vineyard at the base of the Oakville bench in the alluvial fan. And since they're priced different, people want to think of it as like king and queen or first and second wine. I actually think of them as perfect equals. They're the king and queen, especially in today's world, are exactly equal in stature, and there's not one that's more important than the other. The Oakville Reserve is not the jester, and the Black Label is not the duke. They're priced differently because it costs quite a bit different amounts of money to farm the Leopoldina vineyard than the Fortuna vineyard. So the cost of farming, and we are a farming business, it's simply different. The Leopoldina vineyard is almost all hand farmed due to close row spacing. The property was bought later, so it's more expensive to purchase. It's just more expensive to run that vineyard. And the Fortuna vineyard at the base of the hill, it's tractors, and the vineyard goes back to before Prohibition. So the cost of the goods of the grape growing is different. So the resulting wines cost differently. But does that mean that one is better than the other? Not necessarily. It's all about what you like. I like the Reserve Oakville Cabernet because I think it has freshness and focus, whereas the Black Label is more about power and expansive texture and structure. So it kind of depends on what you're doing. But the burger that Nick and Jason have crafted up for us, I think the Oakville Reserve is the perfect wine. Maybe if we're coming back for that dry-aged steak, I'm going to pull out the Black Label because it has more power and structure and depth, and the extra fat of that steak and the crust on that steak are going to the texturial experience of the steak is going to be different than eating a burger, and the more texturial aspect of the Black Label is going to be more interesting with that wine, with that food. But mostly about pairing, and how those things fit together. Yeah.
I've got a question for. This is a.
You have a question,
yes,
Carrie?
I have a question. My voice is probably not going to carry, but chef, as a chef, when you're preparing a menu or you're thinking about what you're cooking that night, when you're thinking about pairings, how often do you want to go toward the conventional route? I mean, this is of course a classic pairing, but
Sure.
Kind of maybe talk about your philosophy on pairings and wines and what's conventional, what is maybe good when you go beyond the box and that kind of thing, because I think our viewers would be curious.
Well, I think there's many different approaches, and it really, like you were saying, you can take the traditional route, and then you could kind of go many different. It's hard to say without coming up with a menu item in front of me,
Right.
but take it many different ways. It doesn't necessarily, one could complement each other, and on the other hand, it could be something that is not complementary and it works well.
Yeah. Is there, like, for example, white wine or another varietal that maybe you would prepare?
For a burger, I would go with a Chardonnay, something
Okay.
that has a little bit of
That too.
butter.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I think of when I think of like our burger. That is a hearty burger. lots of butter, lots of remoulade.
It would pull that out.
Cheese. I would
Yeah.
classically go, bigger Chardonnay, but it's at the same time you just have fun with it, And I could also eat a Sauvignon or have a Sauvignon Blanc with this and be happy, but it's probably not the right wine, So I don't know if that completely answered your question.
I think the burger would be also perfect with a nice beer.
Absolutely.
Just saying.
Peter, we have a couple questions. One, apparently you're really good at the grill.
Yeah.
What's your favorite thing to cook?
I'm good at the grill.
Meg says
That's
what your wife says.
amazing
Oh.
at the grill.
Meg is taunting me. We have a terrible grill. It burns everything. It's the grill, not me. I swear. Just like many of you, hopefully there's somebody out there that can chime in on this and back me up on this. But the grills can be evil. So we have, we do have a wood-fired, fire pit that I like to grill on, but you have to plan ahead. So one of the great things about coming to a restaurant where Nick and Jason have already planned ahead, got the grill hot and do it, and you get to enjoy a nice bottle of wine and company. That's a beautiful thing. When you're doing it at home, usually I'm getting home from the cellar and the vineyard tired, and if we're going to grill something up, we have a propane grill. And I will tell you, it is not the same deal. You cannot make this burger on a propane grill. There's no way. No offense to the propane people out there, but the people that sell propane, not the people that are cooking on propane. I know you're in the same camp as I am. And the Weber grill that I have, it catches a little grease. I don't clean it out very often. Every third grilling, there's a small bonfire, and I like to burn things. So,
I've seen that.
yeah.
I've seen that
I
at
have a
Nick's house,
Weber at
actually.
home. I like my Weber.
Do you?
I do like
I'm
my Weber.
looking at getting a replacement for my Weber,
Yeah.
and it's something that's not called Weber.
They're just classic.
We are
It's
not
a classic
sponsored by
grill.
Weber.
Yeah. No. Grilling on the wood. The wood's like absorptive. I never get a flare up on that. You get that
You
great.
could use
the great-
wood in your Weber.
I think I could. I could rip out the guts of the Weber, stop using the propane, throw wood in there.
Oh, you're talking about your Weber propane.
Yeah, it's a propane.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm talking about classic Weber.
Yeah, the classic Weber with the charcoal briquettes. That's all good. The propane's my problem. So I've actually taken, we'll go to the farmer's market and get great fish from Santa Rosa Seafood, and I used to be a big fan of grilling that, and now I'm doing that in cast iron. Yeah, and you know what? I never burn it. So I've moved off the grill. The grill's not getting used very much. When I am grilling, I stand next to the grill, which is a great opportunity actually to drink a glass of wine. And just mind the grill. Don't try to multitask. One of the great things about the restaurant is that there are multiple people in the kitchen, and there's somebody that's assigned to the grill, just doing the grill station.
Yeah,
And
because
so
you walk away, you're going to burn it.
you're on it all the time. Whereas, at my house and probably at your house, when you're grilling something, you're multitasking. You've got friends over. You're, hopefully, we'll get back to that, right? You're going to have friends over. And then you're grilling, you're running from the grill to entertain, to open another bottle, helping out on prepping the next dish. And it's a busy time, and that's when things get burned. So that attention to detail, professionals do a pretty good job. The burger's incredible. It's super fantastic. And this is the best thing.
Next time you're here, and obviously when we're open, and you walk by the window where the kitchen is, and you look into the window, look at the guy on the grill and see how much stuff is on his grill. It's a not an easy task, especially over wood fire. These guys know how to control that wood and the fire, exactly where the hot spots are. They know that grill in and out, and they might have 20 burgers on the grill, and another 10 steaks, plus
all of that grill.
vegetables and things along those lines. And that's a lot of meat to be on a grill without having a flame up, and having a fire, because so much fat is dropped into the
into the fire. So they're really good. You know, it's next time you're around and we're up and going, walk by the grill and just watch the grill guys go. It's pretty neat.
Chef, we have a question for you.
Yes.
They're asking about adding onto the burger. Would you do an egg on the burger? Would you do other things onto the burger? Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so the classic, when Kelly McCown started, he ended up putting the bone marrow on the burger. And we still offer that. It's great. Bone marrow is great. This is a very rich burger, and all you're doing is you're putting even more richness on it, which, if that's your thing, it's great. No matter what you put on there, it's going to be rich, though. I do like that. When I came on, we started putting a duck egg on there, which we get now. All our vegetable scraps go back to the ducks. They eat the vegetable scraps, and then we get the eggs in exchange. That is probably my favorite thing to put on there because it really does make a big difference on the burger. Like you're tasting the egg. Where sometimes, you know, the bone marrow is there, but it might not be as prevalent as the egg is.
And the egg you fry sunny side up, or
yeah, we do a
easy?
sunny side up egg. Sunny side up egg. If somebody asks for over easy, we'll change it.
And you lay that right on top.
Sunny side up egg, right up on top.
So you do burger, bacon, burger, cheese, bacon, egg, pickles.
Yeah, we leave the top off.
Oh,
so you don't break the yolk, so they can break it themselves. I mean, that's part of the fun, right?
They see that.
See everything running all over. But the other thing too,
they're pretty messy already.
They're already messy, and I'll actually go back into that. I have something to comment about that. But we also bring in truffles, and so depending on what truffles are growing, what time of the year, whether they're Perigords or Burgundies or Australian truffles or white truffles, we'll offer those on top of the burger as well. I really like that.
Shaved table side.
Shaved. We do it up on the pass, so you can still see it, but we weigh it out and shave it on top, up on the pass, which is where the food's coming out from. And then unfortunately, we don't do foie gras anymore because that is illegal in California. But a big slab of seared foie gras on top of your burger is probably the best way you can. It is my favorite. But unfortunately, we can't do that right now. Hopefully, in the next couple of years, that will be lifted and we can do it again. Going back to the messiness of the burger. In fact, so I moved here in 2012 when this restaurant opened up. And this was the first place that I came to. And I was told to come here, have a burger and a cocktail. And this place was just open, probably 2 months into being open. And so that's exactly what I did. I had this burger, and it was so messy that I ended up developing a strategy behind the burger. And I'd ask for a share plate, and when I would eat my burger, I would eat it, take a bite, all the juices would come out, and then I'd have like a landing pad that I'd put my burger upside down because the bottom was already soaked, and so that was my way of eating the G&G burger. But
with a landing pad.
With a landing pad.
I love that.
Yeah.
Can you order that?
Yeah.
G&G with
Just,
a landing
yeah.
Well, yeah.
If somebody ordered,
Can I take a landing pad?
If somebody ordered G&G with a landing pad, would they know what that was?
We would figure it out. If they came to me, now that I say it, if they came to me, I would say, yeah, I got you taken care of. Send them a small plate on the side.
Carrie's back there eating a burger.
I'm working on
And
it.
Carrie
Need
has
a picture of her.
Carrie has burger juice
all over.
all over. It's a lot.
This is
Mom
so
and Dad, Carrie's mom and dad. Don't worry. Carrie's tapeworm is getting well taken care of.
Oh my god.
So speaking of nothing related to that, Peter, can you describe? Jonathan Bell wants to know
Hey, Jonathan Bell.
what made the 2016 growing season in barreling different from the surrounding years of 15 and 17.
Yeah.
And which is your favorite, if you have one?
Perfect. Jonathan Bell is asking about the 16 vintage versus the 15 versus the 17 vintage. Thankfully, I did read the notes on the 16 vintage. It seems like forever ago. But the 16 vintage, apparently, what I wrote down at the time was that it was a super even growing season. So it was like a grower's year. Bud break was normal, nice and and mellow growing season. Bloom, fruit set, veraison, everything kind of happened on schedule. Nice Goldilocks weather, and then we were fully picked before the game-ending rain that apparently in 2016 happened on October 14th. See, I read my notes. Impressive for me. So it was a kind of a solid citizen vintage, nothing dramatic. So it was, that led to actually like what I find in the wine today is that it is dramatic. The wine is dramatic in that it has power and freshness, but there's nothing off kilter about it. It's a complete solid citizen. So the wine is like completely enjoyable. I think if you like fresh Cabernet or you like power Cabernet, you're gonna think this Cabernet is like in your wheelhouse. It's kind of a democratic, or I guess if you're Republican, it's a well-rounded, like normal Cabernet that fits all the corners. So the 16 is like crowd pleasing in that if you like richness and power, it's got that. You like freshness and length, it's got that. So that's a really nice thing as a winemaker. When you make a wine that fills out all the squares on a bingo card, you're like, bingo, I won. So that's cool. Whereas the 15 and 17 vintages, I think, were not as well-rounded, but had more personality and verve. I personally like personality and verve better than like well-rounded. I guess I think that quirkiness and obtuse angles and that kind of stuff makes things more worthy. So that in my personal opinion, I prefer the 15 and 17 vintages across the board above the 16 vintage. But the 16 vintage is the wine that will always deliver. It's consistent. It does its job. Does better than its job, let's say. If you're going to take wine, if you're going to take a Turnbull bottle to your friend's house that loves wine, and you're willing to do that, lose one of your bottles to a friend that loves wine, the 16 vintage is going to be a crowd pleaser. You're never going to lose. It's like the blue ribbon, blue chip winner. Whereas the 15s are a little bit more, they're less fat and broad. They're less masculine and powerful. They're going to be a little bit more focused and high-toned, more about red fruit than dark fruit. This structure shows through a little bit more because those wines are more feminine and there's less fat to hide behind. And the 17s are kind of the same way. The odd years there are a little bit more angular and vertical lift and focus, and the even year there, the 16, is a little bit more linebacker, wider shoulders, power, driving. So the 16 is kind of the critics' year, the get it done, like awesome, kick-ass wine. Can I say that? And I just said that. Okay.
You just did.
Oh shit. Oh. And the 15 and the 17 are a little bit fresher and prettier.
I have a question for Chef and a comment real quick for Pete.
Am I fired?
Nope. Your wife just texted me and said that if you plan on coming home tonight, you better bring half that burger to her. And Chef, Peter would like to know, other than Goose and Gander, what is your favorite restaurant in St. Helena?
Really? I'm asking that?
No, Peter,
Different
another
Peter.
Peter, sorry, a different Peter.
In St. Helena, well, I'm going to take it back to my roots, Farmstead. I was over at Farmstead for 5 years when I first moved into the Valley in 2012, like I was talking about. I started at Farmstead as a line cook. I left my executive chef position in Arcata, Humboldt County.
Humboldt County,
yeah. So I left my position out there to come study wine, and needed a job. So I took a job at Farmstead, working the line because I was a full-time student studying wine at the Culinary Institute of America, a program called AWBP, Accelerated Wine Beverage Program, and did that for 9 months. As soon as I was done with that, they promoted me to a sous chef. I started doing banquet chef, and then I developed their charcuterie program.
Wow.
And really got into the charcuterie side of things. Stephen Barber is a mentor, a friend, and he really allowed me to grow with the charcuterie side of things. Sent me around to different places of the country, and also learning charcuterie with David Katz over at Sabrosa, so also another mentor of mine. But what brings Farmstead back to why it's my favorite place in St. Helena, other than Goose and Gander, is it's comfort to me. It's a comfort food, and not only is their food comfort food, but to me it's comforting. And I don't make it over there as much as I would like to, but I do. Whenever I do, I really enjoy it, and it just brings back some comfort to me. So that for sure. I've always been a fan of Cook. That was another place that one of the first places that I ate when I was out here too is Cook. So
They both do a great job.
They both do a good job.
Farmstead has, of course, their estate gardens, which are an important aspect of what they do, and then they have the grass-fed beef.
Yeah.
But oddly, I think that the best dish at Farmstead is the brick chicken.
yes,
It's
absolutely,
the beans and the flattened chicken on the grill. It's a great dish.
it's good.
Yeah. And Jude over at Cook, long-standing San Helena restaurant. Meg and I have had many of our most memorable and enjoyable meals at Cook. It's a small little hole in the wall. I wish them well, and I'm not sure exactly how they'll socially space and come out of this. I hope they do, because it's a really noteworthy restaurant, and Jude and his wife and their young kids are doing takeout out of there right now, which is fun. We've done that to try to support them. It's a good restaurant.
Peter, we have a few more questions.
The fries are really good.
Let's see. Kevin Krantz wants to know. Maybe I got the name wrong. Hold on. I'm going off memory here.
Pretty good, huh?
Okay.
Not bad.
Sorry, Curtis Krantz wants to
Your burger's
know
pretty
how would you compare and contrast the Oakville Reserve to the Fortuna Cab?
Well, the Fortuna Cab is a higher designation. So when I'm going through the cellar, Turnbull's Estate Vineyards will yield about 800 red barrels per vintage. From the Fortuna Vineyard, we might have 100 barrels that are Fortuna Vineyard Cabernet Sauvignon. And so I will select through those and find the barrels that are appropriate for the Fortuna Vineyard Cabernet Sauvignon. And they're the ones that speak to me of Fortuna. So when I'm looking for a vineyard designate, I'm trying to imagine, so let's say the 2016 Fortuna Vineyard Cabernet, I'm picturing myself in the vineyard in 2016, tasting that fruit at harvest time, and how the sun was and the wind's blowing through there, and what does that feel like? And I'm trying to find the barrels that remind me of that. And they tend to be barrels that the barrel is not doing so much of the work. The fruit is all about the fruit. So the vineyard designate wines tend to be actually lighter weight, more about focus and amplitude, and less about making and width. So the Fortuna Vineyard Cabernet or the Menos Cabernet or the Leopoldina Cabernet are 3 vineyard designate Cabernets. I'm really looking for, my job is to try to expose sense of place above all else. It's not about bringing you pleasure or showing off as a winemaker. It's about just being like, here it is. It would be like Chef Nick has a beautiful piece of fish, and instead he's like, wow, that is such a beautiful piece of fish. Instead of what's on the menu is a grilled halibut, I'm gonna make ceviche out of that, or right? It's about seeing the ingredient for what it is and not touching it. And so the vineyard wines are a little bit like that. And whereas the Oakville Cabernet, it's a construct where I've said this ingredient is really remarkable and fantastic, but I can put a little bit of hand on it. I can put a little spin on that ball and craft it into something that rises higher, goes farther, and has more width on it. So the Oakville Reserve is a wine that's going to please more people than the Fortuna bottling by itself. But the Fortuna bottling is the more special, ethereal wine. And the Oakville Reserve is something that's got a little bit more side wings on it, and it's got a little bit more buzz. It is made on purpose to be beautiful, whereas I allow the Fortuna bottling to be what it is, like it or love it, or don't like it, I guess. It is what it is.
So we have a few more questions. Couple for Chef Nick. There's two for you, actually. Are you thinking of making another barrel-aged hot sauce?
Yeah.
Maybe with the Turnbull barrel?
Absolutely.
And then any secret seasonings
Great idea.
that you use on the burger?
Well, first of all, the hot sauce, I think that's a great idea. This year last year's hot sauce we did with Trujillo. They donated a barrel, which Elizabeth was able to connect us with, and thank you, Michael. And so that was fun. It was a once-used barrel, and really kind of, for those of you that had the hot sauce, it turned out really great.
You made an entire barrel of hot sauce?
Well, not only that, but it was an entire barrel of mash. And
Wow.
so I blended after it came out. So we had about 80 gallons of hot sauce. So we bottled, and then...
How do we get that? It's fun.
No,
You-
we have it.
I put up how you can
We'll
get it.
get you a bottle
Really?
before. Yeah.
I'll get you a bottle,
Okay,
but
I
yeah,
got you a bottle.
I just put
Oh,
on how they
I wanna,
can get
I
it.
want to get a bottle.
Yeah,
Megan and I are big
yeah,
fans
you
of
can,
hot
you
sauce.
can order a bottle of our hot sauce online.
On gooseandgander.com?
Yeah. You could order our shirts, our hats, and then the bottle of hot sauce is on there too. Really cool label designed by Michael McDermott. And so it's Fergus, which is the goose that we have.
Wait, the goose has a name?
Yeah, the goose has a name. It's Fergus. You didn't know this?
What's the gander's name?
Well, it's actually it is the gander. Gander is Fergus. Excuse me.
Oh,
So, but the goose or the gander that you see around
uh-huh.
are on our
That's Fergus.
shirts. That's Fergus.
Does the goose have a name?
No.
We should have a contest and name
Yeah.
the
Name the goose.
name the goose a goose and gander. Oh, look at it. Here's the
Yeah, there
hot
you go.
sauce right there. It's
We
got
have
a picture.
Fergus.
Is that Fergus?
That's
Well,
Fergus
Fergus
on
on
fire.
fire.
Fergus
So-
is on fire,
you
and his
see
lower half is
fire.
actually
Yeah,
burned
right here.
away into a skeleton.
Yeah.
Wow, I got to try this.
Please do. Yeah. Throw a little bit on your fry or
yeah.
something. So yeah, barrel aged. We will do another one for sure. We still have a good amount of
we can find you a
reserve.
barrel.
That would be great. So
When
look
you're
at
ready.
that. Thank you.
Not to
Who
push-
was that from?
Let's
See, that was
That
from
Oh my
Zach.
God.
it's from Zach
Zach Kush.
Kush.
Hi, Zach Kush.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll do another one for sure.
That's really good.
And I got one for you, Zach.
You know, I think all our fans in Texas, this would be like right in your or in Louisiana. This is authentic, real deal hot sauce. Yeah, right in your wheelhouse.
Peter, Micah Remillon, sounds like a French name. What does he think? What do you think that the 18s are going to be like?
Thank you, Micah. The question is, what are the 18s going to be like? I've actually made our 2018 blends. They are resting in barrel. Our plan, God willing, is to allow us to bottle those in July, right going into the vintage. So we've ordered all our corks from our awesome cork vendor, Lafitte, and we've got our glass and our capsules and everything standing by. We've made the wines. They're in barrel. They're getting a couple of more months of barrel aging. The 2018 Oakville Reserve is awesome. The Fortuna Vineyard Cab, the Menos actually might be the star of the set. I don't know that I've had a vintage since 2007 where I was like, the Menos is the go-to move. But the 18 of Menos looks really spectacular. And then we are going to have an 18 Piera. It's aging in one puncheon. It's stacked 3 high, so I don't drink it all myself before we get it in the bottle. So I have to be sober enough to get up to the third layer of the puncheons before I can try it. I did try it yesterday. It is spectacular, so that's exciting. And we've got the Bon Vivant. The analogy is going to be a Merlot, Cab Franc, Malbec blend, which is exciting. We're not going to make a Malbec, or we're not going to make a Merlot or a Cab Franc on their own. We're making a new blend, which I think everybody's going to totally dig on. Black Label, of course, is special. So all the 18s look great. We've actually already bottled the 2018 Napa Valley Cabernet, and it's our best Napa Valley Cabernet ever. And the 17 was anointed the best $50 Cabernet Sauvignon in the world by Antonio Galloni in Venice. So I think the 18 is even better, which is like hard to imagine. And I'm not a boastful, egotistical person. So when I say that, I say it with humbleness. The 18 vintage is really great. The only thing the 18 vintage is suffering from is that the 19 vintage that's in barrel is even better. So the 19 vintage is, I think, clearly our best finish since 2013. So all our members out there, you want to like stick with it, even through this difficult time, because eventually, a year and a half, 2 years, 2.5 years from now, we'll be releasing the 19s, and they are blockbusters. So as a winemaker, it's way more fun to make killer wines that are exciting, and I think you could probably see I'm authentically charmed by the vintage. I think it's going to be really special. So it's a little bit like I can't wait to come back to Goose and Gander. I don't normally get to hang out with Nick. I've like met Nick, and it's usually like it's like meeting like the famous drummer from Metallica or something like that. You bump elbows and you're excited to like be in the presence of greatness. But Nick's a really humble guy, and he comes across as like everyday chef of the Napa Valley, which is already saying something. But very special talent. So we're really honored and humbled by getting to partner up with Goose and Gander. Nick, although he comes across as like simple burger presentation of easiness, the art and the craft that goes into it. Nick does a lot of live fire work. He's working with whole animals, and they have their estate farm. They have this farming project that's bringing in the fresh ingredients. So it's Goose and Gander is really a special restaurant that like brings a lot of components together, and the ownership of the Goose and Gander allows their staff to thrive in that and come up with new concepts. So they're gonna be they also do offsite stuff where they come out to vineyard sites and roast a lamb for you and do all kinds of cool stuff. So we're hoping that if the viewership of this video likes that, maybe we'll have a welcome back to Napa, Goose and Gander, and Turnbull mashup vineyard barbecue or something like that. So
Sounds good.
Let's get a lot of viewers. If you think that's a good idea, share this video with your friends. If we can get more hits on the video, I can convince Carrie and Tom to convince the owners of Turnbull that this would be a good idea. So it's going to be a team sport. All of us together coming out of this the coronavirus thing. It's going to take a community of people coming together to reinvigorate things. Goose and Gander's ready to go. Turnbull's ready to go. Tom and Carrie are starting to consider how to rearrange the furniture in the tasting room to get things socially spaced and safe. Our awesome office manager, RJ, he is researching, automatic hand sanitizers to squirt jelly sanitizer onto your hands. We're getting new touchless light switches, all that stuff, so we can welcome you back. I'm sure Goose and Gander's doing the same stuff. When we got here, Jason was not sous chef Jason, but the manager Jason was rewiring the Goose and Gander for a new Cat 6 cable, which is funny because just yesterday I was doing the same thing at Turnbull, spooling some new cable out to our new chiller. So while you're away, the properties and hotels and restaurants in Napa Valley are getting ready to welcome you back with even better infrastructure, safer infrastructure, and more hospitality.
It's really given us a chance to do some restoration that we've been wanting to do, but really haven't had a chance to. We haven't closed down for more than a couple days at a time. Maybe at the most 3 days at a time. But since 2012, the restaurant opened, we haven't had a chance to do some of the restoration that we wanted to. You know, tables take wear and tear. You know, so to be able to like redo the tables and to redo the floors and things along those lines. So, you know, it's actually, we've been given a chance to give a little bit of a facelift to Goose and Gander for when you guys come.
Super exciting.
I just have a couple announcements.
Okay, Carrie's gonna come join us on camera.
I'll just stand over the
Here,
mic.
come on, take my seat, Carrie. But you
Okay.
can't touch just half a burger because
It's
Meg,
for Meg.
Meg already claimed it.
I just finished mine, so
Yeah.
we're good.
Wow, Carrie, you ate that entire burger?
Yes,
That's
it was
badass.
really good.
Oh.
That's all right. Anything can happen. It's quarantine. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I just want to remind everyone that we have our rosé and Bon Vivant tasting next week. To all of our members who wiped us out of our rosé in a record, less than a week, 5 days. Save some of that for next week. We're doing a tasting with Peter then. We have some new tastings that we're going to announce next week as well. So just look out for your email for that as well. What else? Oh, it's getting hot. So when you're ordering your wine, we recommend selecting any temperature controlled shipping option presented to you. That will just guarantee that your wines will get to you not spoiled, safe, and all that, because you don't want any cooked wine coming to your door. Other than that, that's actually really it for me. So I'm going to have Peter come back and sign everyone off. And maybe you guys can toast. And
Thank you, Carrie. So I really appreciate Carrie pulling all those details together. Tom and Carrie have done a great job making sure that we keep on the schedule. The rosé release was amazing. Thank you so much for our faithful. It's a great bottle of rosé. When I was making it, I was like, I don't know if it's as good as the 18. And now that I'm drinking it, it's like the 2018 rosé squared. So magic happens, and it happened with the 19 rosé. So thank you all for the support on that. I think the wine, we sold 200 cases of rosé in a week or something like that. And so the wine's gone. If you missed out on it, what you want to be looking for is the Sauvignon Blanc. Both the screw-topped Oakville Sauvignon Blanc that's out in the world, and also the Josephine Sauvignon Blanc. They're both fantastic, thirst-quenching. Nick and I are hanging out on the patio here at Goose and Gander. It's a nice, balmy, 75 degrees, beautiful day. The Oakville Cabernet tastes great. I wouldn't mind having a Pilsner with this, or a bottle of rosé, or a bottle of Sauvignon Blanc.
Absolutely. Rosé would be great.
Right? And so there's opportunities as your summer's coming on across the country. Those are wines that you're going to want to put away, not put away to like store for next year, put away so you have them for your cooler next weekend. And whether you're doing a sequestered thing where your friends are on the other side of the pool, or your friends are on the other side of the country, but you're both drinking the same wine. Those are good things. And then when you come back out to Napa Valley, we're all going to raise a burger and a glass. Meg, I'm touching your burger right now. And here, we'll cross it up.
Oh, you can't touch burgers.
Yeah, we touch burgers and glasses. So if Nick and I both come down with coronavirus next week, you'll know it was from the burgers and the wine. But if we don't, then you'll know it's safe to come back out. We're like the canary in the coal mine. I think we're going to live and be good. And then it's time to get back out to Napa Valley and enjoy all the charm out here and the funny times. Carrie's giving me the cut it off. She says, wait, am I fired? Okay, so Carrie says I'm fired.
Yeah.
So Nick is going to be doing all these videos next Thursday.
Perfect.
Oh,
He's going
yeah.
to be dueling chef, winemaker move.
I love it.
Congratulations,
Yeah,
Nick.
thank you.
Way to go. You're going to kill it. It's been nice knowing you, and peace out. Thank you. The burger was fantastic.